How's it going, everyone? Welcome to the show. Happy weekend. Usually not doing weekend shows. I say that, and I've done weekend shows for at least the last couple weekends, but normally taking it off. But every once in a while, thought I would come on, chat about something interesting. And today, we did not see a bunch of ETH tornado cashed in a PulseChain today, but I think this is something that people kind of forgot about a few weeks ago when this happened. So I think it's super bullish and very interesting, very understudied. Every once in a while, you'll see somebody talk about it, but I want to talk about that today and kind of ask you all what you think is going to happen there. I've got some ideas as far as, there's, I guess if you remember too, that the SAC fund had 171K. Let me bring up the screen. Give you a little bit of context in case you're not familiar with this. So the reason everyone, like the famous number, a lot of you may be familiar with, is 171,000 ETH. And that came from, a year or two ago, DAI, I think it was staked for a short period of time, and then got turned into ETH. And that's, got turned into ETH around, what was it, 3,800, something like that. So look into rh.com. So current ETH price, TCA interest. Yeah, so around 3,700 in total, a bunch of different wallets and stuff. But it was 171,000 ETH, remember, around that time. And then around 4,200 ETH was, whatever, they got sent through tornado cash. So if you do the math on that, I think at $4,000, around 4,200, I think it's around $16 million. So around 16 million was bridged out. And by the way, when I'm telling the history and story of all this, anyone in the chat, is there any corrections or, correct me if I'm wrong when I'm going through this, but this is kind of like my recollection and some nuance around it, what I can remember. So around $16 million at today's prices, I guess less back then. So it was tornado cash. So again, what is tornado cash? Let me go through that real quick. Shout out to CryptoSolve, super good stuff. They were on the show. We talked about this a couple times, around different privacy protocols and all this stuff too. And I think was it Hex Week, the Hex Week or PulseX conference that came on, and we talked about when the ETH got tornado cashed in, bridged over to PulseChain as well. Was that the signal of like, hey, here's a few $1 million that could do many interesting things. So what is Tornado Cash? Tornado Cash remains one of the most popular privacy protocols initially designed to handle ETH, but it's since expanded to include several other tokens in multiple blockchains. They've also expanded to offer more advanced Tornado Cash Nova in recent years, but for simplicity's sake, we'll just look at the original Tornado Cash and how it works with ETH. So it's a mixer tumbler protocol. It works by users depositing specific amounts of ETH. So this is important to understand. Specific amounts of ETH, like 0.1, 1, 10, 100. If you go to Tornado Cash's website, you can see the options to deposit these particular amounts of ETH into a common pool contract with all the users. So, all the 10 ETH deposits from all users go into 10 ETH pool, all 100 ETH deposits into the 100 ETH pool, and so on. These pools are often referred to as anonymity sets. When lots of people use Tornado Cash, it creates larger mixer pools. For example, 100 ETH pool in Ethereum currently has 125,000 ETH in it, which came from 1,250 separate 100 ETH deposits made by hundreds of wallets. With each deposit, contract generates a unique cryptographic commitment, hashed with secret nullifier recorded on chain, which is provided to the user as a note. To remove the ETH, users withdraw from a different wallet, provide the note as a proof of ownership to smart contract. They use technology called ZK snarks, allowing one party, the wallet making the withdrawal to the note, to prove to another smart contract that the statement note is true without revealing any additional information to the blockchain. This means that no traceable blockchain link occurs between the deposit and the withdrawal wallet, thereby breaking the chain of evidence. So they also talk about Railgun. I'll drop this link in the chat as well if you want to go through. It's really interesting. And how also talks about how can you interact, a better choice for privacy, again, good anonymity sets, patience, wallet management, all that stuff as well. So hopefully you're up to speed on like what is Tornado Cash, how does it work, stuff like that. So that's what, again, there used to be 171K ETH from the original DAI that was converted over. Now it's at 166. That's why you see us number 5 on the strategic ETH reserve. And then we get to the, yep, is this the right one? There's also, let's talk about the stack history as well. Okay, yeah, this one. So I'll drop this in the chat as well. This is the analysis. So this happened, so the 1100 ETH happened back in August. So just over maybe, was it 4 to 6 weeks ago from now. So this is a summary of recent PulseChain bridge activity focused on the 11 wallets funded from Tornado Cash. First, some totals. So total value inflow around $5 million. And so the ETH inflow was around 416 ETH and stablecoin around 3 million. So yeah, around 416 ETH. And then you got DAI, 1.6 million, and then just under 1 million for USDC and 600K for USDT. And I got the spreadsheet. I'll bring this spreadsheet up in a moment as well. And here's the backstory with it. So approximately 12 hours ago, this is again back in August, a few weeks ago, 11 addresses that received 100 ETH from Tornado Cash started bridging in a mixture of ETH and stables into PulseChain. Of the 1100 ETH they initially received, they sold 685 into a mixture of DAI, USDC, and USDT before bridging. So 11 wallets got 100K ETH from USDC, and I'll pull up the spreadsheet so we can take a look on Etherscan as well, so you can see. So yeah, CryptoSub does a lot of amazing stuff. So if we go to this one, and we just go over to Etherscan, go to the address. So you can see the 40. So from this one, around 42K, or so 42 ETH, about 171,000 current today's value. So it was bridged over. So it's talking to the OmniBridge router, PulseChain, and then it also these must be the transactions for approving turning some of the tokens into like DAI, USDC, and USDT. If we click on it. Let's see if we can see any other. Oh, actually, I can use DBank for this. We can use DBank. Whoa. I keep forgetting to use DBank because I don't support PulseChain. And I use PulseChain a lot. So let's take a look at this. Rebank is DBank. Come on. So if we look at transactions. We scroll down. So yeah, here you can see using CowSwap for, this is 16 ETH and getting around $72,000 USDC. And you can see that with transactions, DAI, and all that stuff too. So pretty cool. And you can see the funding. So on the Etherscan, you can see funded by Tornado Cash, 100 ETH. So you can see that from Etherscan. If you go to DBank, you can see with the withdrawal, Tornado, plus 100 ETH. So around $500,000 today's value into the wallet, and then buying USDT, DAI, and USDC. And then let's see, OmniBridge. I wonder, did they bridge it over? Relay tokens, OmniBridge. Just looking to see relay and wrap tokens. Does they bridge these? I'm not sure what these transactions. Did they bridge? Oh, was it just them bridging over maybe? Okay. Anyways, so these are the 7 addresses. You can see, yeah, the 41 ETH we saw there, and the value bridged in. So the ETH, the USDC, then stablecoins. Let's go back to the thread. So back in April, the SAC associated address, this one moved almost 4,200 ETH to this address, which then proceeded to send 4,100 ETH to Tornado Cash in 100K chunks. So I guess, yeah, so 100K chunks, I guess 41 transactions. That 4,100 ETH and today's ETH correlated. thanks to a pretty sensible use of Tornado Cash, we can truly never know. What we do know is today's bridge activity indicates someone might be pretty bullish on this ecosystem. So the correlation, like, is it the same? Is the 1100 ETH that has, are they from the same person? Is it from the SAC? Is it from someone interested in the ecosystem? All that stuff. Yeah, you can guess and speculate on that. But yeah, there's some speculation that it could be. So what's happened since the bridging? Nothing. Capital is currently sitting idle in those 11 addresses. Any green candles were organic front running, which has been sold back down, not helped by ETH retrace. What happens if nearly 5 million was deployed into PLS tomorrow? With current liquidity, essentially calls an ecosystem-wide 2 to 2.5x. PLS acts as the floor upon which almost everything else pivots. So assuming no ratio changes, everything tied to PLS lifts equally. So again, this was written a few months ago. Could be up and down, but you get an idea. If it were deployed a bit more strategically into specific assets, SAC addresses have historically favored PLSX. You could potentially see an overnight 3 to 5x in certain assets. Lots of that would get sold down. But you still likely have raise the floor significantly. And then, we talked about it on the show as well. So, it must have been during Hex Week. Awesome. Pretty cool. And if you see, I guess we can look at these on PulseChain as well. So we go to, for example, Midgard and type in this. I get to chat in just a minute, by the way. So you can see there's still got, 153K in DAI, and then 72K in USDC, and 36K in Tether, and some ETH in there as well. And it looks like I imagine somebody sent them some meme coins here too. So pretty cool. Lots of different addresses, lots of money in there. So that's around, what is it? Today's value. So 416 ETH. So that's a total. Well, what was it total? So there's ETH and stables in here too. So 416 ETH plus this much stable. So ETH values, what is that like? 3 million stable, almost a little over 3 million. Around 3 million in stable. And that many ETH. So if we do 416 times 4,000 today's price. Oh, is that the total? ETH at 4,300. That should come up to that. ETH at 4,300. I was say 416. So there's 41 in there now. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. Oh, okay. Okay, so 1.5 million. So 1.5 million at 4,000. I thought it was 16 million for a moment. I was thinking about the 16 million for the 42 for all the other ETH that was out there too. So at 10K, yeah, quite a bit more, around 4 million. Not a super huge ton amount, but that's what I'm curious about. That's what I was thinking about. That chat, let me know what your thoughts are on. For that amount, I mean, if we go to Pampy and just type in, so price per shipment calculator, even split. Again, we just, I mean, what do we got? If we got 5 million, let's say it doubles, say we have 10 million. So we put 2.5 million into each. You can adjust the self-rational stuff if you want to, but I'm just going to feel like this for a minute. So you get some X's. I mean, you get plenty of X's there. Now, will it all just, again, why would all of it go into there at once? When you see more of like we've seen before, the 50K clips and other clips and stuff that would be buying assets for whatever over a few hours or so over time. I don't know. I think the most interesting theory on this is it would be used to, I talked about this before, if there are benevolent whales out there who are going to put money into PulseChain, again, we can see this move of, if you were talking about, oh, what if just a little bit of the ETH was bridged over? Well, what if it already has been? What if that is the ETH? What if that is the signal? Back in August, what if we get that signal that, hey, it's go time, or getting close to go time, and $5 million worth of value ETH and stablecoins and stuff were bridged over as this. It's funny how like all these marketing stuff's going on. We do see some bridged over. We don't see 100,000 ETH bridged over. But what if that was the tip off for the ecosystem? If you were looking for a sign that there is plenty of life and plenty of glory to be had, that could be one. So again, relatively small amount. Even if ETH went to 10K, maybe there's $10 million or so right there. But to me, it's always been this fuel on the fire. It isn't this, hey, would we like green candles while we're onboarding? Of course. Would we like this slow and steady rise up and to the right? Yes. But the whole, hey, this bridge, this chain is still alive. If anyone's doubting that, for example, I don't know why. I mean, I can guess why, but to me, it's never really been a serious consideration. This is the, hey, some of the ETH. Again, nobody knows, because there was a strategic use of Tornado Cash to separate for privacy and all this stuff too. But there was some ETH that was Tornado Cashed from the ETH pile, and there was some ETH that was Tornado Cash, funded Tornado Cash, and then bridged into PulseChain with some stables. So is that, for some people, that may be the sign they're looking for the ecosystem and the whales that may be participating into it. So I think the more likely scenario would be, with these wallets, would we see another 1,100 bridged in? Will we see these wallets continue to get funded? Could be interesting. And as we get green candles, as we have other participants in the ecosystem waking up, again, buying, front running what they may perceive to be other money going into it, we could see this as a injection in the ecosystem and buying happen. You don't need to be optimistic or rely on it. This isn't about like RH pumping the ecosystem, all that type of stuff, and this like reliance on the PulseChain devs to do something type of deal. I think it's just a super interesting, bullish, rational way of looking at it. What else? Whether you think the SAC funds are going to stay there and do nothing, whether you think they're going to get Tornado Cash and go to help support the ecosystem, either way, I think I don't know. I think it's a pretty interesting one to explore, and so that's why I wanted to talk about it a little bit today. Biffiness, just the tip. Yeah, just the tip would be, I could see that referring to just a little bit of the dollars going in. So pretty good. All right, get your questions in. We'll be going forever on this one, but we'll go through chat and say hi to everyone. Hextralian Stew, I like that name. Bullish much? Pretty bullish. Cairo 71 more days. What is 71 more days? Is that the end of the year? Is that Christmas? We're gonna get a Merry Christmas. I think we're gonna get a Merry Christmas. I could see the end of, again, I don't like making predictions. I don't like to be wrong, but I could tell you what I think wouldn't surprise me to happen, which is, who knows if we're going to go into like what's going to happen in Q4. A ton of people are bullish on, Uptober, September looked pretty bullish there for a little bit until it didn't. We'll see how that plays out though. But it wouldn't surprise me if we get some pumps in before the end of the year. I'm not sure, I'm getting more sold on that. The top is not going to be, again, that 4-year cycle is as the exact timing. What was it, November or so, being the top of the last cycle, November 2021. And 4 years from then would be November 2025. timing wise, I know there's a ISM, business cycle, all that stuff. Who knows what the Fed's looking like rate cuts are going to, all the betting is on rate cuts are going to happen. So a lot of that looks bullish too. Who knows? I think, yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if we do get a pretty Merry Christmas. And if we have Uptober, Upvember, Upcember, and things get super interesting between January and June, January, May, somewhere through there. So I don't know. It's hard for me to see like the bull run going all the way to all the way through the year to 2026, all the way to 2027. But I don't know. Just my thoughts and feelings. Be interesting because I see the economy, the job stuff. I can see the easing. Yeah, I'm hoping it's a pretty Merry Christmas. Hopefully we get some up action until then, and then after Christmas, hopefully, game on for glory for the ecosystem. I think that'd be pretty cool. Sorry guys, it's my dust wallet. Yeah, just a little bit. There's millions of dollars. Bullish, I agree. How's it going, Alan? One of the best avatars. Amazing. So when's the bridge end? Did it happen today? Yeah, that's I think you asked the question before I started. It happened a few weeks ago. And to my knowledge, the hasn't moved. So if we look at transaction, it doesn't support PulseChain. So let's go somewhere. Did I have Midgard pulled up? Yeah. Transactions. Let's see when the last transaction happened. Maybe internal transactions. Token transfers. Trying to refresh. What? Token transfers. All right. Maybe my browser or something. Let's see. Don't think it's moved though. Pretty sure. I have to use another transactions. PLS. I wonder where the PLS came from too. Yeah, let me take this to what we got. PLS Folio. Let's try PLS Folio too. So 6 weeks ago to the, pretty much 6 weeks ago. Multi-chain transaction. That's cool. Multi-chain transactions. Yeah, I think everything happened pretty much. Most of the action sent 42 ETH to a bridge. There you go. 6 weeks ago to the day, pretty much. Pretty cool. So I'm sure, I hope if anything moves here and we see some updates from CryptoSolve or everyone else following this stuff out there, because it could be pretty cool. Hey, Tam, how's it going? Good to see you. Seems interesting. It is very interesting. I mean, nobody's talking about it either. It's like it happened. People talked about it for a few days. And I'm like, guys, is this like the most underrated thing going on in PulseChain? Like, is these was this the signal that people are looking for? If you're looking for Richard to bridge over some of the SAC funds to PulseChain, this is the closest type of speculation I've seen so far of that. If you just think it's benevolent well bridging over and loading up with ETH and bringing DAI into the DAI and other stablecoins in the ecosystem, what do you think they're going to do with it? I don't think they bridge into PulseChain just to hold that forever. So it's pretty bullish. That's pretty cool. It's fourth quarter time. Send it. I could tell it literally. Can anyone else not see? I know there's plenty of counters and stuff to not happening, but I don't know. I definitely want it to happen too. I'd like to have a great, last 3 months of the year finish. Merry Christmas. Really, really fun times. Get the community up and going and doing well. And then, yeah, top sometime in May or June. May, June, July. That'd be pretty cool. Happy 4th of July. Called the top on the day. Fireworks in the sky. That was the blow off top. That's the fireworks. Who knows? I certainly hope we get next 6 to 8 months of just massive awesome, because there hasn't been a lot of massive awesome. We've had to cultivate the most massive awesome. If you can stream and be positive in this environment, boy, you're going to have no problem when there's unlimited good news to talk about. Green candles, certain hopes. I haven't checked the chart. I do not check the charts. This is not check the chart season. But if there's green candles happening on PulseChain, hope there's more of them. Got some great streams coming up, by the way. Hopper Lane coming up. I got the Hex Scout guy or guys coming up on Tuesday, and then planning a marketing stream for Thursday. Should be fun too. How's it going, Archie? Welcome. Good to see you. Moon Mutt, welcome. 13th. Not sure what the 13th is. Not today. Today's 28th, as far as I know. Maybe 13th comment on YouTube. Slow and steady. I like a rocket mob. I think that is also the most likely way of it happening is this slow and steady rise. Green candles begetting green candles, just as Richard talked about. Makes sense to me. Huddle line. Let's go. I think I hope people holding RH assets are going to get heavily rewarded. I'm hopeful, and I think we got a lot of winning to do in this community. A lot more winning. Hopefully the RH tablets are helping people buy PulseChain and PulseX. Yeah, I think it's again all of it coming together, right? The marketing, you got the well stuff. You got, who knows? Hopefully we'll get some good news on Interpol at some point. It's kind of in the background right now. If Interpol goes away while stopping Richard from live streaming, oh man, that's like the perfect, best combination, I could think of. But with or without Richard streaming, I think we'll be fine. That's just kind of like the fuel. Talk about putting fuel in the fire, man. That's some rocket fuel. But I think we got as Richard says, we got everything we need. We got more than what we need, even. We just need people to hear about it. So shout out to everyone doing the hard work there. Hey, doing RHMax, been in the ecosystem for years, believe in Richard. I'm excited for the future. That's awesome, Sam. That's awesome. Me as well. I've NIF. I don't know. I can't put together a more bullish case for this ecosystem. Everybody just looks at the candles being red, but that's not telling the story. That's not telling the real story of PulseChain. I think the story is yet to be written, and I'm hoping we draw some amazing infinity candles. I'm going to call them green candles, infinity candles, infinity to the right candles. It'd be pretty amazing. And more than price, right? Like there's so many amazing things about this ecosystem to learn from people. You got Scivive if you're into that. Again, I love talking to Jexa too, because he talks about a lot of the great conversations recently I loved having about DeFi and about, again, this place being the mecca for DeFi and having the ability to, start that financial, start over on a chain where there's a ton of fundamentals and you can actually get in and talk to devs and, build whatever you're going to build and hopefully cultivate some great relationships with people. And I think it's great. I'm hoping we get back to the 2021 type of atmosphere. I know I didn't start streaming and stuff and start interacting with the community until 2022. Certainly on the sidelines, watching and cheering and my own way, being excited. And been following Richard since 2017. I think I know what he's about, and I'm excited about the future. Longevity, all that stuff too. I just need to bring privacy to PulseChain ASP for this reason. Until then, we won't pump. I don't know. I think privacy is definitely, we already have privacy with Tornado Cash on the ETH side. So we have that, which, again, it's good enough to bridge into PulseChain and have that piece. However, operating within PulseChain, I agree, is super important. I don't think that, I don't think anything stops us from pumping as far as features, or I talked about Interpol. I don't think it stops us from pumping. I don't think privacy stops us from pumping. I don't think whatever imploding, or I don't think anything stops us from pumping. We've seen the pumping, the test pumps, as I call them, occur a year or so ago, even before SEC stuff. And then now SEC's gone away. So I don't think, my opinion is nothing will stop us from pumping, but having an edge in the ecosystem other than fundamentals, other than, being a place where you can do DeFi and early Ethereum, or early product, chance to be early, all that stuff, for people to come to PulseChain and stay and be able to, again, whales, to be able to move money around privately as they can on Ethereum as well. I think privacy is going to come because it is part of RH's ethos and an obvious edge for the chain. Now, will it be an official product? We've already got Railgun, talks of Railgun being implemented by LibertySwap, who have been doing a great job with a lot of features and onboarding and all that stuff too. So I can see both. I could see community privacy products on PulseChain, and I could see upgrades to, whether it's a super app released by PulseChain devs, or whether it's upgrades to PulseX, or upgrades to the bridge, or whatever it is. But yeah, definitely privacy is very important. And I don't know why we wouldn't see that. Definitely would be cool. 5 million is the FOMO fuse. It could be. I mean, they could be like, hey, thing just went up, 10x. Is now the time to get in? Is that the math? Like, will it be paired? That's actually an interesting point where, I mean, I don't think it'll be all deployed at once, obviously, and maybe you don't either. Maybe you think it's like 5 million, as in putting in different clips strategically in a place where especially the liquidity is low, less people have a reason to sell it down. The shakeout happened. A lot of those people are out already. And then lighting the fuse of, again, the green candles begetting green candles, and people seeing it's in their best interest to keep buying instead of, thinking it's another fake out type of thing. So that, combined with an extremely bullish tweet or a live stream, could be the FOMO fuse. I like that FOMO fuse. The Hex Maxi take has mainly been, whales are going to front run the Sacks, then Sacks will buy, and we all get rich. Innovation, no great thinking, he says. I don't know. Like, I've always talked about this. I think the whales will do what they think is beneficial for their bags. So if you're just going to sell, if you're going to have to buy more later, or you're going to miss out. That's the thing. Maybe it's just getting the whales to have FOMO. And maybe they need to see something that will trigger that. And I think we'll see some bullish stuff too. I think we'll see some bullish posts and bullish, maybe talking to the blockchain, all that stuff too. I mean, maybe I'm not sure the SAC funds will buy them out type of deal, if that's what you're going with too. Yeah, I don't know. I think it's more cultivating FOMO than getting all the players in my sale out. I just don't think that's possible. And I think we can do it in a way that is like net beneficial, where nobody's motivated to sell until we hit glory, that type of thing. So I think there's definitely some plans. I think there's some, not that we're privy to it. And again, I get why people are like, oh, what's the master plan? I can't think, there is no plan, like it's scammer type of thing. But I think it makes all sense in the world that there is a type of plan behind this. We're just never going to know about it, and we're going to have to see it play out. That's what I think about it, at least. Bitfinex. The only think ETH is good as for bridging the PulseChain. Yeah. I think probably the biggest thing a lot of people on PulseChain use ETH for is getting money from there on the PulseChain. If you're not already using a native on-ramp and all that. Any word on the super app? No. Thanks for asking though. I think that I did a whole stream. If you guys are interested, type in RHMax super app. I have some shorter clips and I've talked about it on X and stuff too. That is the ideal that I think is likely to happen as the next PulseChain product or a PulseChain product. So Richard's talked about multiple times having some sort of wallet. I think more than a wallet though, again, a super app. He's talking about forking MetaMask. I feel like he's talking about multiple times, at least 1 or 2 times. And I think just a few months ago, he talked about like what wallet would you fork, all that stuff. But I think if if the PulseChain devs are going to do it, it's going to be a super app. It's not going to be like this, hey, we're forking MetaMask that has PulseChain by default. Like we have community wallets and stuff that have amazing, internet money's great. It does all these features and stuff too. Has a lot of great features. But I think if the PulseChain devs are going to do it, it's going to be something that's like super vertically integrated. It's going to be more than a wallet. It's going to have all this stuff built in and fiat on ramps and staking and maybe some kind of incentive to use it. Maybe you earn incentive or there's some sort of like buy and burn with it. Or I think it's going to be next level if it happens. So you can talk about, you can see more about that if you just type RHMax super app into either X search or YouTube search. You can see the videos where I talk about it and what features it might have and all that stuff. A mobile version and privacy built in, like all those different features. So pretty cool. I'm excited. I like to see that. I think it makes sense to do it. Again, it's speculation, but I think it makes a lot of sense. Fast Abdul, good to see you, man. See you on Thursday for the marketing stream as well. Any word on Ravi wallet price of PulseChain of exchange listings? I think it's 2 different questions. I don't know. I don't keep up much in the wallet space. Maybe somebody in the chat will have an answer as well. A lot of people, if you go to PulseChain.com, even they talk about Internet Money Wallet. It's very popular in the community. If you go click Get Started. Perry Wallet, Internet Money, MetaMask, and Brave Wallet. I've never used Brave Wallet. I didn't know they had a crypto wallet. Interesting. So you got that. And a lot of, some people don't like Ravi because they don't support PulseChain or at least have the support they used to have for it. Come on, debank, rebank us. I'd like to get some more, or hopefully the community. We have plenty of block explorers. That's the thing too. Like we have so many good community block explorers. Like maybe none of them are exactly as amazing as debank, but there's a lot of great options out there. So when people say PulseChain don't have a good block explorer, I think Midgard's pretty good. I was just using PLS Folio. I mean, there's a ton of I did a thread on this with like 6, I want to say 5 to 7 different community block explorers. All have different pretty good features too. ETH starting to pump right now, is it? Nice. Let's go. 10K. Let's go. Crypto Crusade, how's it going, man? Good to see you. Hope you're doing well. I believe 11 wants a mixture of ETH and stables. Yep. That sounds about right. Royce in crypto, what does the world's largest airdrop mean to use? Is PulseChain a failure if that's its main slogan? Good question. World's largest airdrop. The origins are, PulseChain launched May 12th, 2023. Around that time, whatever you're holding on Ethereum, you got a copy on PulseChain. And I think the narrative's yet to play out. I think we tested the narrative a little bit. There was some farms on PulseX and stuff with Pepe and I think Wrap BTC and all that stuff. And I don't think PulseChain, I don't think enough people have played enough on PulseChain for the narrative to fully play out. I think once PulseChain grows, we onboard a lot more people. Hopefully marketing will help a lot with that. It'll be kind of to everyone who could prepare for it and sacrifice the new PulseChain launch and all that, then you could sort of make moves and kind of do things if you want to take advantage of it or participate or whatever with Ethereum, especially on the Hex side too, if you want your P copy for Hex and every other coin that you're interested in. So I don't think that it's fully played out. I think that it kind of needs to be this, PulseChain just needs to onboard more people and get more people interested in it. I think it'll kind of be a cherry on top for, I'm not sure that there's so many different parts to it that, you could speculate, would the original one, would the P copy surpass the value of the one from Ethereum? I think the only one that's done that is Hex consistently. Correct me if I'm wrong. But I don't think we've seen all the different DeFi products and the participation and the people who may join PulseChain and may build on it and may have some sort of interaction. I think a lot of the steam kind of got let out when with the market is decided tweet, where Richard was starting to prioritize PulseChain over Ethereum and even on the Hex side, like eHex. So as far as getting parity and stuff with a lot of the tokens, I don't know. I think it'll be more of an intriguing factor and kind of a bonus for people coming to PulseChain going forward. And who knows if we'll see another farm. I think we haven't seen another farm, another PE farm. I don't know what you call them. P copy, E copy farm. Because it's just the timing is just, back then it was kind of a test to see, could we attract people? Would it be successful? And I think it's more of a timing thing. I think I could see us seeing some new farms on PulseX for it when the timings are right, when PulseChain is, going up and we're onboarding people and things are exciting in that way again. So I don't think the narrative's fully played out. It hasn't been successful so far. But I think that's just one component of PulseChain. I think it's a really good slogan and a very attractive one. And people are generally, when they're interested in PulseChain, I think their curiosity will be piqued by it. But I think there's a lot to PulseChain that we don't need that, even if it wasn't successful, which it's still TBD, in my opinion. I don't think who knows, like that, is that PulseChain, like I know when you on X and stuff, if you post, it'll be like, you'll see world's largest airdrop. I think that is still one of the main slogans, or it could be the main slogan for PulseChain. Will that change in the future as well, depending on how PulseChain is, what kind of things people are interested in the bull run once we get there, once we really get some momentum. So good question. All right, everyone, I got to wrap up. Going to about 45 minutes now. Appreciate you all. Again, sorry I can't get to all the questions, but thanks for joining. Hopefully enjoyed, took something away. Remember that there's a lot of bullish stuff happening for PulseChain, even though people aren't excited about it all the time. I thought this was something good to remind everyone about, and because I thought it was pretty cool and interesting. Come back to the channel soon, and for more cool stuff going on. I got at least 2 streams coming up this week: marketing stream on Thursday and a deep dive on the Hyperlane stuff and liquidity. A lot of things been happening there with Hex Scout and people supporting Hyperlane and Piteous and all that stuff as well. So it should be fun. All right, everyone, let's give you something fun. Let's do Crypto King. All right, that's all I got for you today. Scivive and 5555. We are out.
Years old, already reading fast. Gifted school couldn't hold him back. Special program, logic and code. Humble roots, but a genius mode. Dad fixed AC, delivered the news. Taught him to hustle, never to lose. Car stereo business, teenage dreams. Online platforms, building schemes. AC company, adult store too. Browser optimization, revenue flew. 60 million yearly, success so sweet. Semi-retired, but never complete. Reddit showed them Bitcoins like blockchain future burning bright. Who is Richard Hart? He's taking control. Hex and PulseChain, that's how he rolls. I'm not fucking around, I'm here to take over. Crypto revolution, he's the composer. Who is Richard Hart? The king of the scene. First blockchain CD, Hex was born. High returns while others were torn. PulseChain launch, eco-friendly way. PulseX exchange, a brand new day. 27 million for research and health. Longevity research benefited from his wealth. Inspiring millions to break their chains. Financial freedom, healthy gains. Fighting scams with all his might. Protecting users, shining light. And Safe came knocking at his door, but he fought back and won the war. Who is Richard Hart? He's taking control. Hey, Hex and Pulse, crypto revolution. He's the composer. Who is Richard Hart? The king of the scene, building tomorrow with blockchain dreams. I'm not fucking around. I'm here to take over. Digital freedom. He's the bulldozer. Red notice came from Interpol's call. Finished claims, trying to make them fall. Tax fraud allegations, assault they say, but the system's broken. Games they play, business rivals using legal schemes. Crushing innovators, killing dreams. If haters wanted to get me down, they'd raise more than my 27 million crowns. Diamonds worth millions, watches and cars. DC allegations reach for the stars, but he denied it all. Stood his ground, blockchain freedom, that's what he found. Won in court, they didn't appeal. Justice served, victory real. Ecosystem vision, wallet and all. Independent blockchain standing tall. Bitcoin and Ethereum left behind. Community value, peace of mind. Richard Hart, he's taking control. Revolutionary leader, that's his role. I'm not fucking around, I'm here to take over. Second crypto wave, he's the composer. Who is Richard Hart? Controversial king, sparking debates. Freedom he brings. I'm not fucking around, I'm here to take over. Crypto's future, he's the takeover. Pivotal figure in digital space. Influential leader, setting the pace. Building community, advocacy strong.